WTOP's Ari Ash. I'm on the 1200 block of 23rd Street Northwest, on the west side across from the Embassy Suites, which is on the east side. And we are reviewing a DPW ticket, DPW ticket 813-3387065. 813-3387065, written by Officer B. Paige, DPW badge number 227, for a P159 no parking AM rush here on the 1200 block of 23rd Street Northwest, west side. The driver says the sign in front of her said not only that you couldn't park during AM rush, but had a conflicting sign next to it that said she could park from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Now what you're going to find as I walk down the block here is that most of the signs are right, but the sign in which we can tell from the DPW picture from the officer that she parked next to is in fact wrong. So most of these signs are right. Again, here's the first set of signs: no standing or parking during the AM or PM rush, and below it 2-hour parking 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So those signs are right. They're in unison. They tell drivers that they cannot park during the AM or PM rush. I'm not going to show you these meter stickers, but suffice it to say I've checked all of them, and all the meter stickers are in fact correct. And most of the signs are in fact correct. There's just one that's wrong, and unfortunately it was in front of where she parked. We'll also count the signs for you. It's one of the buildings across the way. So we have one good sign. We have two good signs. No standing or parking, AM rush, PM rush, and then the green 2-hour parking corresponds to the fact that you can't park during the AM or PM rush. So two good signs on the street. Give you some landmarks as we walk down here, just again to point out where we are. Over across the street, 1255 23rd Street. Again, is on the east side. Over here on the west side where we're standing is 1250 23rd Street. And as we walk here, this does not have a green sign, but it has the no AM or PM rush sign on the top. And then as we walk down here, corresponding green sign. That again points out 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we'll count that as a third good sign. And the reason for the AM and PM rush is, as you can tell, we're in the middle of a rush right now. People are supposed to be able to use this lane to go down, as these two cars are doing. Another good sign here. Again, signs in unison. Can't park during the AM or PM rush. Green and red signs in unison, so we have three good signs. We have a no standing anytime sign right here. Not really relevant to our story. Another no standing anytime sign right there. Again, not relevant to our story. So we have three good signs, and I believe, let me check, I think we'll be at 4 or 5 good signs and 1 bad sign. As you see, as I said, the meter stickers are all good. Right here, okay, so this is the 4th good sign. Again, the no standing anytime. We've got the no standing or parking during the AM or PM rush. And below it a green sign that says you can park for 2 hours from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., which would be outside of the AM and PM rush. So the red sign and the green sign are in unison. So that's number 4. And I'm not going to show you number 5. Suffice it to say, I'll try and get as best of a shot as I can. But there's a sign all the way down there on the sidewalk here, down by the traffic light on the right side, and you can kind of see the outer edges of it. That sign, again, is good. Red sign saying you can't park during the AM and PM rush, and a green sign that says you could only park outside. Here is the bad sign. And this is where she parked, because the picture that we have from DPW is kind of tailored like this. Zoomed in enough so that you can see the red sign, but giving us no context to see what was on the rest of the pole. That could be an accident, or that could be strategic. I don't know. I have no evidence to prove that the officer purposely took a picture that only show the sign that suffice it to say show the ticket was valid, or whether it was just by happenstance that she didn't show the whole sign. But this is the sign she parked in front of because the trees in the background show it in the picture. So no standing or parking 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., 4:30 to 6 p.m. And again, 2-hour parking, but this time it says 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So these two signs are conflicting. The red sign says you cannot park from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. You cannot park from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. in either direction. But this sign says, if you're parking this way by these meters, you can in fact park if you pay between 7 a.m. and 6:30 p.m., both in the a.m. rush and the p.m. rush. So one of these two signs is wrong, and obviously based on the fact that we have 5 other signs on the street that are right, we know that the red sign is right and the green sign is wrong. But that shouldn't be visited on the driver necessarily. We are right now in front of the 2300 block of M Street, or excuse me, we're at 2301 M Street. Technically we're on the 23rd Street Northwest, 1200 block, but to give a landmark, we are in front of the Kaiser Permanente Northwest DC Medical Office. The awning says 2301 M Street, although we're standing on the 1200 block of 23rd Street Northwest. And this is the conflicting sign. So the final thought I have is, well, what do you do about something like this? And I'll kind of tailor it back towards the street, just give my arm a rest a little bit here. The thought I have on this is, under DC regulations, and this is an arcane provision that most people don't know, including DC Councilmember Mary Shea, who has oversight over these agencies, is that the regulations say that when you come to signs that are conflicting, that you're supposed to honor the most restrictive sign. It's in Title 18, 2400.7 of the DC Municipal Regulations. So if you come up to a sign like this, the regulations say you're supposed to follow the most restrictive sign, and if you don't, you're still liable for a ticket, and you will be found guilty, and you will have to pay the fine, even if the signs conflict. It's sort of a catch-all to protect the city, even if they screw up and make a mistake with the parking signs, in this case the green sign, where they've clearly screwed up here. Really what should be done, I think, as someone who's covered this issue for almost 2 years now, is that article should be tossed, and there should be a provision specifically written by the DC Council in section 50-2303.05, which is the article that deals with defenses to parking tickets in the city. And it should say one of the affirmative defenses that you can use when adjudicating your ticket is, if you can prove that the signs conflict with one another, then you will be found not liable for the ticket. That is an affirmative defense. If the signs conflict, you are not guilty of the violation that was assigned to you through the parking ticket. You have to prove it through pictures or videos, but if the signs conflict, you are not found guilty. That would force the city to really take a serious look to make sure all their signs are correct. Now, in most cases, I would also say the ticket writer should have taken a full picture of this pole to identify the mistake, and instead of writing a ticket, he or she should have reported this to his or her supervisor and said, we got a problem here, I can't enforce this, we need to contact, DPW needs to contact DDOT and get this fixed right away so we can start enforcing, rather than taking a picture that was zoomed into that red sign and didn't show the problem with the green sign below it and didn't give us the full context. And in most cases, I'd say not issue the ticket. Although I am a reasonable person, and I would say in this case, just because this really impedes the flow of traffic to park here during the AM or PM rush, I probably would have also written this ticket, then taken a picture of both signs to give the context, and said to my supervisor, we need to get this fixed because I don't feel comfortable writing these tickets anymore. Contact the DDOT, and then I would put that regulation into place I talked about, and if the person adjudicated it, I'd throw away the ticket, not because she shouldn't have parked here, she should not have, but because the signs conflict. So in this limited case, I would write the tickets. In most other cases, I'd say, if there's conflicting signs, don't even write the ticket. Notify your supervisor. So those are my thoughts on this ticket, again, issued by the Department of Public Works, ticket 813-338-7065, 1200 block of 23rd Street Northwest, West Side, by Officer B. Paige, badge number 00227. Thank you for watching, everyone.